everyone, and welcome to the Ukulele Underground podcast. My name is Aldrine Guerrero. Joining me are Mr. Aaron, the voice, Nakamura. What's up, Aaron?
What's up?
Mr. Kahai, the legend, Ferguson. What's up, Kahai?
What's up?
Gentlemen, it is the three of us again. You know, like we miss Mike and stuff, but sometimes we just got to roll. We just got to roll as a trio.
School is back in session, so he has to be there.
Yeah. That's why Mike is not here anymore. We loved having him. And I just got some questions today in the live coaching that would have been awesome if Mike was here. You know, but hey. Your boys are here. Your award-winning boys. Sorry, your two-time award-winning boys. Get ready to hear that all year, everyone. It's not going to get old. It's at least to me. And the more irritated people get, I think the better that the better that I feel about every time I say it. Welcome everyone to your not ours, your award-winning Ukulele Underground podcast. What's up?
It's a People's Choice Award.
Yeah, People's Choice. We are your favorite podcast. So it's not, I don't know if I would have voted for this one, honestly. With James Hill in the card, I mean, what were you guys thinking? What were you guys thinking? But you know what?
After
whatever you guys been thinking, keep thinking that way.
Yeah.
What's that, guy?
Now that we've won the award for a second time, we can say it, right? Like before, we were like, please vote for us, but now it's like, nah, we wouldn't have voted for us either.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and as promised, I'll give everyone their bribe soon, so don't worry, it's in the mail.
I sent Anarchy in the Ukulele like an email, and I was like, we were surprised that we wanted to.
We were surprised both times we won.
So the secret is to do everything the opposite of what you're supposed to do for a podcast, like plan. And
plan. What is plan?
like James. If you listen to James's podcast, he sounds like a perfectly polished NPR.
Yeah, NPR
podcast.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, this sounds like I'm listening to NPR. Like I'm really
it's calming voice.
Yeah.
Oh man, could listen to that for hours, but people choose to listen to this.
I'd say it. But you know what? Regardless, thank you for voting for us. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you. All of you. I mean, some may say that we love you. Not me. Maybe Kai would say that, right, Kai? Do you love these people?
Brother Sam had a great way. He said, it's like Jim Carrey in The Mask. You like me. You really like me.
You really like me.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, thank you. Anyway, so Kahai. Anyway, what this is the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. We answer any and all of your ukulele or non-ukulele related questions. You get questions over to us via live chat. That's usually how we get them. Or you can email us some questions. We'll try to answer as best as we can. I'll give you my 2 cents. These two guys will give their 2 cents. And we'll give you our best 6-cent answer that we can come up with. 6 cents today, not 8.
Yeah.
So, we're
2 each.
Yeah. Quarter off discount today. So, Kahai, what do you want to talk about?
Me and Aaron were talking about something, and I think so. We have a question for you. I think Aaron is gonna ask it, or
see, it's like no plans except for you guys. You guys have plans for this
just
show.
Like me and Kahai were having a discussion, and we're like, maybe we should get Aldrine's opinion on this, because you weren't here. So,
okay.
So it's basically just that. Yeah,
that's our planning.
Yeah, it wasn't really. It was like a spur of the moment.
Not
kind of
NPR, James Hill levels of planning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely not.
Okay, go ahead, hit me.
But yeah, so like in the past, you've talked about like there is sort of a difference between, especially like with musicians, like just being like a musician and then, I mean, which you can't discount that. Like if you're a good musician, you're a good musician.
Yeah, okay.
But like difference between that and like an entertainer, or and so I was talking to Kahai about comedian actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so comedians are entertainers at their core. But it seems like there are levels to the entertainment value or like the type of comedian that you are. Right? And it almost seems like as you go through the process, right? If you're just starting off as an entertainer, you kind of stumble through and kind of have to create the show that you eventually want to give to the audience, or like present to the audience.
Like I think everybody who performs or like musically will start off as a musician performing for the first time.
Yeah.
But they don't go into it like being like, I'm a performer, right?
Yeah, you develop that.
So like, me and Aaron were talking, and it's like, what is your idea of like levels going from like a musician to like a performer?
Yeah, so I kind of have a framework in my head for comedians, at least. For like 3 levels of entertainer. So do you like, what would you say are like the 3 levels of entertainer as far as like especially ukulele player?
Levels, like thinking of it at levels is something that I've never really thought about
because you like, you know, all of them. Like, you know, you've met people who just started playing and like want to get on stage and did their first performance maybe, and then you've also like toured with like people who have done
I think
big
that's
stages.
That's the first step, right? Is just somebody who maybe plays music but hasn't performed for other people, and then their first step is actually performing for other people. Like the start, right?
Yeah, so maybe like the beginning, like things that you have to think about, middle, and then transitioning up to like. Yeah.
I have an idea. I mean, at first, if we're talking levels, like the first level would have to be just performing, is a performer, not necessarily an entertainer. There's a difference in performer, entertainer, musician, performer, musician, entertainer, and stuff. So you're just performing. You haven't, I think the just performing your instruments in front of a crowd is the first level. You don't really have any kind of banter, any kind of like any extras other than like, okay, let me play you my song. That's like the very entry level of like, I just want to share what I have. And I always think of the stage. I mean, funny you guys mentioned comedians because doing comedy on stage and then like I think about that, and I think about wrestling. Those are the 2 things that I think about. Two things that I was like really, really, really like fond of like growing up. And both of those are, if you're not entertaining, then you're not like the upper echelon of like of those those jobs, being either being a wrestler or a comedian. Same thing with with the ukulele. I think in the beginning you're just kind of finding yourself and finding like what works for you. It's different for everybody because everyone has a different personality that they bring on stage. Everyone has like a different demeanor. Everyone has a different like even just your posture and your and your cadence of like when you address the audience of like the things that you say. It all matters. And I think in the beginning you're just trying things out. You're just kind of like throwing things against the wall and seeing what sticks, But for the most part, you want to just play. So I believe the first level is just getting your sound. You're like getting comfortable with the audience. The next level is knowing, like kind of knowing what will hit and what won't hit, but then you're still kind of figuring things out in a sense of like, okay, well, things are still somewhat improvised, where like you don't have like a set thing to say. You don't know what will land like every time just yet. You're still kind of like finding it, but you're comfortable. The comfort level is what is the difference, I feel like, between like a beginner to like an intermediate level like performer. Your chops when you play, I feel like, because of your comfort level, will get better. You play better if you're more relaxed, Whereas if you're just starting out, there is that sort of nerves that kick in, and it will hinder you from performing, from entertaining, because people can sense, like nerves, and people want to just like, okay, well. In the ukulele community, we want to lift people up and we want to encourage. We're like, nah, you're doing great, or what. And they are doing good, but there is a level where like, people are kind of encouraging you versus like people are there to kind of like watch the entertainment happen already, rather than like encouraging to like, to get better at the entertainment side. Right. And I feel like the last level is when you're being yourself. Like that's it. Like people come to watch you be you, and you're no longer like, and that's same thing with with comedians, same thing with with wrestlers. Like John Cena no longer has to play a character John Cena. It's almost like you can't really tell, the difference between like, okay, I mean, clearly it's a performer, John Cena, but it's just like you don't know where that character ends and the actual John Cena, the person, like begins. And another thing where like Jake, for example, you go and watch Jake, it's like Jake the person and Jake the the entertainer on stage. Like there's a really blurry line where one ends and the other one begins. Same thing with me. Same thing with like Taimane Gardner, for example. Very, very, very entertaining. But if you know her as a person, she's very eccentric like that. Like, and it is just herself. Like turn up to 11 almost, and you hear that in wrestling terms where like the best character is really just you turned up to 11. So I think the expert level of entertainment or is really just you being yourself and putting yourself out there, the things that you say, the things that you do, the songs that you play, the songs that you that you share with the audience, regardless if it's an original or if it's like a cover song, it has your stamps on it. So it really is kind of a journey, like, and there's a big difference between somebody that's like, so for example with me, of course in high school I was just trying to find like who I was just trying to play songs that like I think people would like this, I think this is popular right now, I'm gonna play play these, and then I'm gonna set them in a way that like there's a flow in the show. That's still all beginner stuff, because it's just an ukulele player playing their ukulele, well or not, it's still just, I was just another like uke player on stage. There wasn't really anything, like I didn't really add myself to that just yet. And then finding out like what works is that next level. So when I was like in college, and perform. I've already performed a bunch with the one time band with Makalea in college, and in most of like the beginning parts of Ukulele Underground. It's like I knew what to play. I was comfortable with playing on stage, but it wasn't really a developed like entertainer character on like stage yet, And then not saying that I'm at an expert level, but I feel like I do have room to improve, but I am in a place right now where I'm so comfortable being myself that the audience just buckle their seatbelts and just in for the ride, of like what I'm gonna present to them, right? And it goes, if you think about any other like entertainer, like you go and watch, like I mentioned, Jake and Taimane and stuff. It doesn't even have to be like a musician, but anyone that you just go, oh, I'm gonna go and see that person, like big. And you see with going back to comedians, like one of my favorites, Mike Birbiglia, like he's one of my all-time favorites. He used to like do the normal, like normal kind of comedian with the jokes and stuff, and then eventually like he's just talking about his own life experiences, and that's like captivating and making the audience laugh. Just him telling his stories, being himself. Same thing with Bill Burr is another one of my favorites. Back then, he would have like all these like jokes and stuff, but then he starts kind of like telling jokes from his point of view, and it shifts that way. So same thing. There's this like kind of evolution with really, really good performers to just like people going to see them for them and for what they do, rather than like, because when I go to see Bill Burr, it's not like, oh, I can't wait to hear that joke about blah blah. It's just like I just go, I buy a ticket, and then like, okay, well, whatever he says is gonna be funny, So it's that. I think to me at least, those are the three levels. It really just is based on comfort, and it's based on how much of yourself you're putting in front of people.
Yeah. And are willing to. Because at the beginning, you kind of don't want to.
Yes,
right? You're not comfortable enough.
Shame. There's a sense of shame, like, I don't, and a sense of like, fear of rejection, that still exists.
Yeah, I think everybody feels that.
When you first start out.
Yeah.
So at this point, not that the fear is gone, I still fear being rejected.
Yeah.
But just I feel that okay, if I just, if I know what to do, if I just do these things, then it'll be fine, and if I just be myself, if I just play my show, it's gonna be all right, and there's a sense of me trying hard for the audience versus me at this point just going out there and just being myself. I still try hard in the sense of I want to get the notes right, I want to get the songs right and stuff, but I don't have to to think too hard about the people pleasing part. Where it's just okay, well, if I just concentrate on my thing, it'll come. It's hard to explain, really. This is the first time I've been asked to put it in levels, but if I had to, it would be that. And I'm using wrestling and comedy as an example,
Well, that's where it kind of stemmed from. Yeah. But so I guess what you're kind of saying is that at that upper level, they're so willing to share themselves.
Yeah.
That it
blurs the line.
Yeah, and I guess because each person is unique.
Yeah.
Then they can't be replaced.
No.
Because there are other people that might be better than you at playing tremolos or really clean or fast or whatever. But there's no replacement for your on stage.
I think persona. Because last week we kind of talked about videos that we see online where it's kind of more gimmicky styles of playing an instrument and stuff, right? And it's oh, that's cool for a song or for a short bit of a song, but it's I don't know if I would want to see a whole concert of that.
Yeah.
And same thing where it's if somebody is only good at those things, I don't think they would do a concert, or people would just sit down and just if they just played stuff and didn't talk or wasn't able to interact with the audience, then it's they're not selling themselves. And at that point, I think people would be I don't know what I'm really watching this for. It's impressive, but it's
everything that you said could just be could be applied to this show, for example. You know what I mean? We've reached that that point in this show where we are just ourselves now. And it really blurs that line of yes, this is kind of an exaggerated character that we play for this show. But then if you watch the beginnings of this show, everyone is pretty timid, Yeah. And I mean, God knows Kahai was super timid. Didn't want to, I had to get him out of his shell. But the more the comfort, right? The more comfortable that he got, the more he participated. And then now it's his personality that's on there, and he cannot be replaced, you know, and neither can you, and neither can I. This only works because we inject our personality into this show. With all joking and all joking aside about the award win and stuff, but I feel that what this show has that not a lot of shows don't is the personalities, the three personalities that we have here. I think we've come up with a recipe personality wise that makes for an entertaining show. Yes, we're informative and stuff, but I think people watch this more for entertainment and to see what each one of us will say, and
you that's probably get more correct answers from a book.
Right, exactly. But then people watch this for an hour, dude. But I think it's because we've reached that point where we're just comfortable with the audience, or we're comfortable with these mics in front of us, or we're comfortable with being live. And I think a lot of it has to do with this is a weekly show. This is a weekly show that we got to produce, and I think it all just comes down to you know what, we'll just turn it on and we'll see what happens. We'll see what comes out, and because people respond to it, then we get more and more comfortable with bringing more of our personalities in, and yes, we still answer the questions that we get asked and stuff, but I think what people tune in for is the personalities that answer them.
It's crazy, performers wrestlers and stuff who have to put on a different persona from who they are, right? Mm-hmm. And it's because I feel like you said, this is a weekly show.
Yeah,
it's after so many weeks, it's just I can't pretend to be somebody else. I'm exhausted. Like, I gotta just be myself, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of breaks down the barriers where it's just like, if I'm not myself, then I'm gonna like burn out from this. Like, if I'm trying to be somebody else, then I'm gonna like, I don't know.
And it takes years, you know what I mean? It's not like, I mean, for some people it's fast, but you know, for like, for example, for myself, it took years, like decades even, you know, like of performing
and, it's
and
still, like
developing, you know,
developing over time.
because like I had the Me and You show down, you know, but even that's kind of changing a little. Like I'm trying new stuff just this week, you know what I mean? Like I was trying
and
something
that's why
new.
it, like this conversation sort of stemmed from the comment that you made at the end of Wednesday show.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I kind of like the idea, like I can see when people get it.
Yeah.
What the show
yeah,
is.
yeah.
You know? Yeah.
It's and like, and I ride off of the you know, like that idea, but at the same time, you know, like we have a different show because I've been doing a show with Kaniho on Thursdays. So that show has been like, I'm learning some stuff from that, and then bringing some of that over to our Friday show where just me, you, and Kaniho. So I'm bringing some of that element and some of the Me and You element on Wednesday. So it's a completely, like something completely different. And because I have so much opportunities to experiment and try stuff out, like it makes for a good show. So that whenever we do go like on tour already, it's like, it's polished, you know, like, but we present ourselves as an unpolished kind of, because it's, you know, it's this, we don't have like, you know, the light show and the whatever, like we don't have a set list even, like none of that stuff is planned out. But I just have confidence in like, okay, well, people are here to see us, so let's just do us, you know, let's do what we do.
And also you'll play off the audience, like you'll react to or give them what you think the audience would respond to.
Because it's, go ahead, I have a long one coming up.
I was gonna say, like, because you guys can have like a set list, a general set list, right? And you guys can play whatever. But then if like the audience starts calling for like, hey, can you play this song for like the big finisher or something? Yeah, it's like, you're not gonna be like, we already kind of had a song planned, we're gonna just go with that.
It depends on the energy of the audience.
And so it's like having that ability kind of, I think, takes you up to another level where it's like you can read the audience and be like, okay, let's adapt to what they're feeling like, right?
I'm gonna give a couple of examples right now. So the first example, a long time ago, you know, we were already established, but see, like I wouldn't even call myself at like the, you know, like at the third level at that point. I was still at the second level, and this was Denver. We played over in Denver, and it wasn't even for the Denver Uke Fest. Like they called us over to play our own show, and we were, you know, they had an opening band for us, which was Milk Drive, and like, you know, and there I am, just like, okay, cool, you know, like I don't know this band, so maybe I should like go and listen and stuff. And I was still trying to people please, you know, like I wasn't being true to myself. I was just kind of like, okay, well, what's the crowd want, you know, like what can I do to make the crowd clap? Like that's me as an entertainer. I thought that was my job, you know, and it is kind of, right? But Milk Drive did a solid job. Like they played an amazing set, and like, and that kind of got to me, and I'm just like, oh my god! So like, we gotta go follow these guys, you know, and like, and we're nowhere near that. We're like an ukulele and guitar, and they had like the full band and stuff, and then they sounded amazing, and they like, I don't know what to do, and like, and I just blanked out like on stage, and I let it kind of get to me because I was trying to people please, you know, and like we did okay. It wasn't like a bad show, but I just felt like I was already like at a disadvantage because my mentality coming in was just like, I need to do better than that, or I need to like play better. I need to like
be the headliner.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be the headliner. You know, like I need to do headliner things and whatever. And then fast forward to like this past summer, we were the headliner for the Italian Ukulele Festival. Right before us, like, we had like some killers right before us, you know. We had Kathy Fink, like did they play before us that same night? They did, right? And you know, and Marcy Marxer, like, and then they had Jed Balak like come after that, and like a full band with like rock and roll vibes, like full on, like it was weird, like Middle Eastern rock and roll vibes. It was really unique. It was really just like rock out kind of vibe. But then I almost like fell back into like the same like, oh my God, I need to be better than that. I need to be better than these guys. I need to play faster, louder, better. I don't know what I gotta do, but I have to play better than these guys. But like, because of my comfort level and my maturity now, I just turned to Aaron. I'm like, dude, let's just do our thing, man. Like we cannot like outplay like these guys.
Out rock and roll
the rock and rollers, you know, like So instead, like people are here, they know us through Ukulele on the ground, right? So let's just be ourselves. Let's just do our thing. Let's try not to, you know, like to out Jed Balak, you know, like I want to be Aldrine Guerrero for the finale because that's who people came here to see. And lo and behold, you know, we didn't out rock them or whatever, but like we went out, we did our thing, and it was awesome. Like it's no longer like I'm better than you like kind of vibe and stuff, which I, you know, like mistakenly, because of like how things were set up back then, that's how I used to think, you know. Like I used to think that like, okay, whoever the headliner has to be the best, like, you know, player, or has to be the whatever. So I used to tour with guys like Calais and Taimane and like and all these guys, and I'm just like, okay, why did they put me last? Okay, now I gotta I gotta switch up my set list. But instead, like I could have just been myself, and I think it would have been fine, you know. But then I was really like trying to people please, and that made the show not as good as it could have been. Not saying that I did a bad show or bad shows in those days. It were fine, but my shows now are so like uniquely me that like that is the best representation like to put out there of myself as an artist. Like I think of it now as an artist. I'm not trying to be the best ukulele player on the card. I'm just trying to be the best Aldrine Guerrero that people paid to see, you know? So that's how I think of it. And I think at that expert level, if that level 3, it's like the comfort level that is so high that like, you know, you're not like second guessing, or you're not thinking about like, okay, well, this what's really gonna rock their socks off, so I have to play this and I have to do that. It's like, no, whatever I feel like, because the energy between me and the audience are so connected. Like there's that connection that like, okay, anything that I play, like they're going to respond to, you know? So it's those two parallels, because those two really stood out for me. And that Milk Drive show really hit me like super hard. And that's when I
got to you.
Yeah. But I think that was a turning point where I was just like, I need to stop, you know, trying to be the next whatever and just be the first Aldrine, you know? Like I don't want to be the next, like virtuoso. I want to be the first me. Like that's really what needs to happen. And I think from that's it. And you know, even with tutorials, even with like the shows like this, where like there's like so much good people coming out. There's so much content. And there's so much like good players coming out of nowhere. You know, like I had to follow up like Feng Yi at like one of that same Italian festival, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna out like Feng Yi, you know, like just play our show, because Feng Yi cannot do what Aldrine Guerrero does. It's the same token. Aldrine Guerrero does not do what Feng Yi does, or Evan De Silva or whatever. We are all unique.
That's also the thing. Like even if people could do what you did, right? And they did, or if people had the same mentality of like, oh no, how am I gonna follow up this? And I was like, I'll do what they did too, or something. People are gonna be disappointed, right? Because they're like, I came to see you, not necessarily what somebody else is doing too. So
So that, like, I mean, I knew it was a long anecdote and stuff, but it kind of falls into that, where like I was this kind of musician, and now like I feel like I've set myself free to be who I am as an artist. I don't think of myself as like, you know, as a performer anymore. It's like, yes, I perform, yes, I do that, but it's like, it's my art that I'm trying to show people. And, you know, like if you're just like copying art or trying to imitate like other people's art, then it's not yours, you know. Like that's what makes great artists, and they present art that is true to them, and that's kind of what I've learned, and that's how you reach that level.
Yeah, I think me and Aaron were talking about it too, and it's like I think at the start, or Aaron, do you want to explain your 3 levels? Because I thought that was pretty interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually, Brother Sam had a good comment in the chat. He was like, "Are you there to entertain others or entertain yourself? Are you telling a story, and are you willing to work hard every night? And if yes, then you are an entertainer." But like, so like my framework for when we were talking about comedians, it sort of is like that beginner, like starting out comedian is probably like the person who was like the class clown, right? They want to be the funny guy, right? So they have talent, they are pretty funny, and so they're going up there and trying to show people like, hey, I'm talented. I have this trick, I have these things that like not everybody can do. And like but they still want it to be about them. Like, you're coming at it from that perspective of like, like I have something in me and I just want to like,
I need to share it.
Okay,
people need to know people, like how funny I am.
Need to recognize. So like, and that's fine because like that's where everybody starts, right? Or hopefully like you have some of that confidence.
Yeah, that's why clowns act up. It's because they want the attention.
Yeah. And then the next level is realizing that like I have a unique story to tell. And so it's not actually about me, it's about the story, right? And then, people will like that. Like they don't have to like me. Because I can do some crazy stuff like in my story. Like, you might not like who I am as a person, but like they will enjoy the story that I'm telling. And so same thing with musicians, right? Like you can do some crazy things on your ukulele, but like in the end, it's more about the music and how people like connect.
And the story.
Connect with that or like feel that vibration. And then I guess that the third level is like when you realize that it is all about that connection. It's not really like you're kind of the conduit, like your story and your personality is a way to connect with the audience and like for the audience to find like a deeper truth about something that they didn't even know or like appreciate, know? And so that's sort of, in my mind, it was like, those are sort of the 3 levels of entertainer in general.
Because as an artist, if you're making art, you need to make art that makes people feel.
But then also you got to be true to yourself. Because like this can only come from me. But it's actually not about me. Right?
I think, or it's like you were saying, right? Like when you start off, you're like in your head though. That's where, and you're just thinking of like, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? It's all about me. But then I think you grow, then you learn like, oh no, it's not about me. It's about the people who are listening. And then even past that point is like, oh, kind of, it's about both of us and just that like line in between and cross, like making that, like Aaron said, like connection, right?
And if you're overthinking things or you're self-conscious about it, that like sort of cuts off that connection, right? Puts a thing like, so like what you were talking about when you have sheet music in front of you. it's like one more thing between you and the audience.
Because all you're thinking of is like the sheet music, right? You're not even thinking of like the people sitting behind it. But it's like even that or that connection, right? Like taking it back to what you said is like you can't really make like true honest connections if you're not like honest with yourself or you're not presenting yourself honestly, right?
So. And it takes kind of a lot to be that honest on stage because you're in front of people,
and you're putting yourself out there. It's like you're wearing your heart on your sleeve, like and so, you're opening yourself to like any kind of arrows, like to be shot at you.
So when you're starting off, it's like, oh, of course you're not gonna be super honest on stage because you're not comfortable doing that yet. So don't feel bad, like as you work through your journey. But
So man, like that Wednesday show, I was just like, let me just try something out. Like still being true to myself, but like more kind of like I was looking at the audience and like it was a slow build, but I loved it. Like it was a slow build, but like towards the end, if you were with same thing, if you're with me, if you're connected with me from the beginning, then you get like, oh, okay, that's the show. It's like one long joke, like that he's telling. No, so it's
I think good, because like even what we're talking about too, like good performers or like there's like gimmicks, right, that people might do, and then it's like you might see it as like, oh, that's cool. But I think really good performers and entertainers, you can go to see them and not have any idea about them, and then afterwards be like, I like that person. Like I want to, if they do another show, I want to see another show because of them. Like it doesn't really matter what songs they play or whatever, like what set they do as a comedian is like Bill Burr. I'm just hearing him for his perspective on anything, right?
I just want to hear him talk. And that's like Bill Burr is one of those unique people that like he was in the podcasting thing like pretty early. Yeah. And it was just him talking to himself, cracking himself up. Like, I listened to it from like way back in the day, and it was like short, like 5-10 minute, like kind of just clips of him like just speaking his mind. And then it turned into like an hour show like of him just talking to himself. It's pretty amazing. So, a lot of this stuff is inspired by stuff like that, where like wrestling, like the Bill Burr podcasts, or any kind of comedian just sitting down, like it's one person entertaining, like
with a mic.
Yeah, with a microphone. Like that's it. It's
not even like with us, we have like instruments between.
Yeah, we can make you feel things with the music that we play, but like those guys are pure storytellers, and like you're just hanging on to every word. So I'm envious that people that have that kind of ability, like that can hold people in the palm of their hands with just their stories. It's insane.
Yeah, I think it's like, because it's me and Aaron, we're talking about it, right? And two comedians can tell the same joke. And one can land and one cannot. And there can be a lot in what the comedian does where it's like pacing, how they present the joke. Like when they do the punchline, if they present it a certain way, that will like really connect with the audience and make them laugh, right? Yeah, and even Aaron like gave an example where he said like he was watching a comedian and then somebody sneezed and he just said like the comedian said, "Bless you," but just like stopping the show and saying that like was able to connect with other people and they started laughing. Right?
The way that he pulled it off was pretty expert level, and it actually brought the entire audience together. Whereas like, because he was intensely like he was in his story, and then he did that, he said "bless you," and then he took a moment to kind of laugh at himself and like sort of rally the whole crowd together, whereas like we're all in this together. and then he went back into his story, and it was like expert level. The comedian was Ali Sadiq. I don't know.
Ali Sadiq.
Yeah. So he has a series of shows called The Domino Effect, and I was watching part 2, whereas like he talks about loss. So, like the theme of it was loss, and he starts it off by saying that like, because he's from the kind of like from the hood, and he said that in the hood, people don't talk about their losses. They try to talk about only their wins because that's because that's just the culture. But in his presentation, he kind of wanted to make it okay for people to talk about loss, and so it almost is that like it's like that expert level where it's like I am a unique person, I have a story to tell, but it's not even about me. It's about allowing the audience to feel this and like connect with this,
and just and the investment from the audience into you, the person, and your story and what you like and your performance.
I think because even that, right? You listen to comedians, and if you really think about like their stories or stuff they tell, it's like I don't know if it's that like specialized to just them certain stories, but that's what also makes it good, is because it's not specialized just to them. it's other people can understand and empathize and say like, oh yeah, I can understand if I was in that situation, how I would be feeling. And it's like, if it's like a cringe story, it's like, ooh, I don't want to experience that or whatever.
That's why I love British, like, British comedy, man. It's just like, I love The Office, but like that British Office was just so cringeworthy. And I mean, like,
I guess that's obvious in like the show that you present like on stage.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, it's the story itself isn't like unique necessarily. It's how they present it, and it's who the people are who are actually saying it, right? That is bringing something to it that will make it like more and connect it to more people.
My style is it's basically like, what do I find funny? And I don't even care like if anybody else finds it funny, as long as I find it like, but what I find funny. And I'm gonna try to see if everybody like can come together and join me in thinking that this is also funny.
It kind of, there is like also something too where it's like what Mike said, when you make a mistake with something, is like you just keep doing it until people think it's intentional. It's like, if people aren't laughing first, I'm just gonna keep saying it until it's like people are like, I guess that's the joke then, right?
Hell yeah. Because when I was playing, I noticed that like when I would say uncomfortable things, like that's kind of like borderline like appropriate, inappropriate. That's when I would get like, like certain not feedback, but like reactions. So
it's like, it's Kaufman-esque. Like,
very Kaufman.
I don't care if it's a good reaction or a bad reaction.
I'm just looking for reactions.
Reaction. Yeah.
So I would just try to see if I can flirt with that line, and like that's for me where comedy lies, is where like wherever that line is, I've had people like so mad, like, and I've had people like laughing so hard at this, and it's the same show.
Yeah.
I think, and there's also times where it's like people react very emotionally to stuff, and then they're like, oh, what is this? But then if you give it enough time, they can see like, this is ridiculous, and then come back to it and be like, oh,
and that's what you were talking about on Wednesday, right? What you like seeing when people get it.
Yes. Now when people finally go, oh, that's it. Like from the beginning of the show, like I didn't quite like get it, but like as it went on, they're like, that's the joke. Yeah, like that's the joke. That's what this whole show's about. So that it's not to be taken seriously. It's like it's a joke. It's a comedy music show or something. Like it's a weird comedy music show thing.
Yeah, you have to buy into it, and then it's like once you do, then is like, it's like I was telling Aaron too, it's like in that short amount of time you're trying to build that connection, but even you're almost like building a sense of community with the audience too, right? Where if they get it, then they're like, oh, I'm a part of the joke. I get it. I'm inside of it.
Yes.
And then also play good enough so that the people who are not paying attention just have background music.
And that's true too. Because if we were bad musicians and then just like trying to make a joke out of it, they're like, okay, well that's not working. It doesn't work. Like you have to play well also. Just be like, so okay, at least they played well. I'll stick around for the music because the music's fine, but I don't know if I like that joke. So it's both of those, and I need both audiences. The ones that get it, and the ones that don't, because I want that reaction. I want the cringe. Like, why did he say that? I want that.
Okay.
Let's go to some
we
questions.
We got like 10 minutes left.
Audience questions.
It's
like that. Sorry, but it's like, you guys ever been to a Catholic church where like the sermon is like 40 minutes long and then 20 minutes of eating and drinking, and drinking, and then like the final message after that,
and then go home.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
You guys keep coming back to this church, so
just hearing me preach. All right, questions. Go ahead.
Trent said, "What's a good way to learn phrasing?" And then later on, he he said, "Let me rephrase it. What is a good way to learn phrasings and runs?"
I would say if you want to really understand what phrasing is about, try to play a song, a slow song, okay, like, and then don't strum it, don't whatever, just like figure out the picking for like the singing lines and try to play that picking as if you were to sing it. Like I always use what is that, like Eric Clapton tune,
Wonderful Tonight.
Wonderful Tonight. Figure out the notes to the like. Right, so you understand what I mean. So like try to play that, and then just have the song playing in the background. Like go look up like a YouTube, like, hey, Eric Clapton, Wonderful Tonight in G backing track or whatever, and then try to play that. Like just play the singing part, because if you don't phrase it correctly, it's just not gonna sound that that great. So phrase it as if you were singing. So that's gonna get you into the mindset of like, okay, I have to sing this phrase with my ukulele. Because if you don't think of it as singing, you don't think about like how long a phrase is, how short a phrase is, when you need to breathe, when you need to like do the ups and downs, the dips and like the hills and valleys of the phrase itself. May it be the timing or like the volume, like it's all those things that you're gonna start to think about if you're playing something to if you're playing the notes that someone is singing, because you're gonna think about, okay, when they sang it, they had to breathe here, or like they sang this a little bit louder, or they sang this note longer, because if I just go, technically I played the notes to that melody, but if I were to sing it like that, it's late in the evening, it's not phrased correctly. It's late in the evening. So you hear the phrase a lot better. Now I'm holding it to its full value, and then I'm adding the hills and valleys as far as the the volume that I'm playing, the dynamics, and I'm adding accents to the phrases where they need to be. It's like night and day, So that's the best way of learning how to phrase, is take a song and then. Or like a singing song, and just figure out the single notes. Not even like, don't come up with like coming up with an arrangement for it or whatever. No, just single notes. How would you approach those single notes, like as a singer, through your ukulele? Like how would you do that? That's the best way of doing it.
Yeah, I think it's like, once you already know the notes of the song, like the technical, what are the notes, it's like phrasing is everything else, the quality of those notes. So every other aspect of when you're playing is what makes phrasing good or bad.
Because I mean, like, just this to know, so those first two notes are the same note, right? But then when you sing it, it's late in the, so it's late, it's late in the evening. Obviously, I'm not singing that same it's and late the same exact way. There's a difference between when I say it's and late, although they have the same exact notes. Okay, it's late it's late. I almost like kind of slur into that. So there's ways to play it on your ukulele to make it sound like you're slurring, or I'm adding that accent on late, whereas there's no accent on it's late, it's late. Even just me saying it, like saying that, no, it's late, the accent is obviously on the late. So I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna play it the same way. I'll be so there's that's how you figure out like how to phrase and how you're gonna approach each line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
Terry said, last week you mentioned you play a soprano uke at home. Is your music selection different? Do you play with the same style or use more strumming or finger picking, traditional songs or contemporary?
Very good question. My music selection is very different, only because I'm still like an entertainer, you know, like I'm gonna on stage, I'm gonna play entertaining songs using my entertaining ukulele, right? But at home, like I'm not gonna entertain anybody. I just want to sing songs that I like, you know. So I'm singing songs like by Bread by like Jim Croce, at home by like James Taylor, by like I don't know, Gregory Isaacs and stuff like that. Like you guys caught a glimpse of it when, like last Friday, when I'm just like, oh dude, let's just play this song, you know. It's kind of like that, where like I'm not playing for anybody else but myself. So I'm gonna play songs that I like, that I enjoy playing. So it is, you know, it is different. But if you're asking, is it different from when I play a soprano and when I play a tenor? A little bit, you know, in the sense that well, my soprano at home has a low G, so like I play a lot more just strumming. I don't really pick that much because I don't gotta pick, you know, like I don't gotta like prove to myself that I can pick or whatever. Like I don't gotta do that. It's just for me. So I'll just, you know, maybe I'll play with voicings. Like maybe the voicings would be a little bit different. Maybe I'll pick in the sense of like finger picking to allow for like different phrasing. But I'm not gonna like do like a hardcore whatever, you know, whatever picking as I would on stage. Maybe that's just me though. Like some people do like to noodle, and like noodling is their way of like expression. But for me, it's more instead of, you know, because if I'm trying to express myself, then that's like me trying to express myself. But music at home for me is a decompress kind of thing. So like the less I try to do stuff, like the more relaxing it is for me. So, you know, that I do the exact opposite of who I am on stage at home. If I can help it, I'll just play 2-3 chord songs like all day, and that's the most fun for me, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of Yvette said, this may be a silly question, but what's the difference between the phrasing and dynamics, or are they the same?
Dynamics is like the volume that you're playing something in, and the volume and dynamics matters in phrasing. Phrasing is how it's not just the volume, but how it's done, like the length of the notes, like how you hit the notes, like that is all phrasing. So whereas dynamics is part of phrasing, phrasing is not necessarily, I guess phrasing can be dynamics also. Like but phrasing is everything. Phrasing, like everything that the phrase is, yeah.
But phrasing can be dynamics, but phrasing can also encompass other techniques that are part of it too. So
part of,
it kind of covers more than that.
Yes, more than just dynamics.
Yeah, and dynamics is like easy way is to think of volume, like how loud or soft you're playing. Yeah. But then kind of the in-between is like also if you're like ramping up, getting louder, or you're pulling back, getting softer, or you hit something really hard and make it really loud. Yeah. All of that is dynamics.
Yeah, because I feel like dynamics is based on the level of sound, I guess, that you're getting from an instrument or your voice. Or
just like how the changes in the volume.
The volume. No.
So
which is part of phrasing. Definitely part of phrasing, but phrasing is not just that.
Yeah.
But phrasing is that, but it's not just that.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Next.
Blazin said, "Will you ever feature the Guitalele?"
No.
Well, we did.
Wahine
Ilikea.
That's true. That's true.
That was the only one, I think.
But then that wasn't like a feature. It's just used as was just an instrument, right? But if you're talking feature, like we're gonna use it like for you plus solo or to teach it, probably not.
Yeah.
Anyway, we haven't done it.
But Kavika did solo on it, but I think we diagrammed it with just the 4 strings.
Yeah, and we also have like what is it? A thing to explain what a guitalele is and like how it's tuned and stuff, and how you would kind of go about it.
Yes, probably not. And I own one and love it, but.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Acoustic Comp said, I made a 20 cover song CD. Not many people have a CD player, I found out. Can I post the CD online somewhere? I cannot for the life of me figure out SoundCloud. Thank you.
can I plug this? I did something. Can I tell you? Can I get you guys to talk about it? Or we're talking about it now. Now
How do
people
you
know.
how do you like publish your music though? If you're gonna do something like that.
Well, how did they make the CD? Because you kind of need the MP3s, right, to create the CD?
Yeah, and well, if you made a CD, like, did you just print it out yourself, like using burn it from like your own computer? Because if you go and get it like done, they that service also offers the service to put it on places like SoundCloud and iTunes and Amazon Music and Spotify and all that stuff. I feel like SoundCloud you can just sign up for and upload your MP3s to SoundCloud.
Yep.
Like you can just do that. But if say like you go through something like CD Baby or Disc Makers or whatever, you know, like Disc Makers, I went with to print out my CD and CDs, and from there you can sign up for to have it distribution, and it's like not expensive. It's actually not that bad. It's the CDs printing them are more expensive than distribution themselves, and it's easy.
Yeah, if you're doing cover songs though, you gotta be careful about that with if you want to post it eventually to like digital distributors, because cover songs you gotta worry about the copyright.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, like maybe they'll just like take it out of like whatever like royalties that you get, like that you pay for. Because if it's only like being streamed so much, then you're only getting paid so much. And then like they probably reflect that, you know, like but this person did this many cover songs in his album, so we got to take this much off of that. I don't think they're going to be like, hey, unless you're like a high profile, like most, like a lot of plays kind of, musician. I don't think it's that big of a deal, because I have like I have some covers on my albums, which hasn't posed a problem.
There's like some digital distributors now though that it's a little bit hard, because once you post cover songs, they can auto detect what the song is, and because they do that, it's helpful where it gives the copyright holders like a share of the portion or whatever. But then also for copyright holders who just don't want any songs to be their songs to be covered, they just might not allow you to post it at all too. So that happens sometimes. If you come across that might be why, like where they're just like, nope, we don't want people covering our songs. So.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
Yeah. So I guess they responded. I made the CD myself using voice recorder and GarageBand, non-professional. Yeah, so just export your individual files as MP3s
as an MP3
and then upload them to whatever service. Yeah,
put it on SoundCloud. Or if you make a CD, because we say CD, we think it's physical CD, you know, like, so you either burn that CD yourself, or you go to place called Disc, or places like Disc Makers that can print out your album, which then you can get distribution through that.
Yeah. But yeah, talk to Jim. Jim has like a pretty extensive SoundCloud portfolio.
But
so Jim is Kind Cool Band in the chat.
But the can you please promote me did not escape my hey, please, I made this 20-song CD, can you like talk about it in your award-winning podcast, guy? It's free ads. You're welcome. It's free promo. You're welcome. We usually charge, now that we're an award-winning podcast, like at least maybe $100,000 per right? per paid, kind of ad, I guess, advertising of like a project like that. Kai, this is for free though.
Yes, Itoen.
Yes, this one's for free. This is for free. You can have this for free.
Yeah. But like, well, let's make it clear right now that Acousticomp, you're a part of the joke. You're in it. Okay. Just if you're not sure, you're in it. Okay. I think that's pretty much all the questions we got for this week.
It?
So yeah.
Sure.
I am looking through, but yeah, looks like
I can keep going, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we don't have any more questions, why don't we do some? Speaking of ads, let's do some ads. We usually do it at the end of the show. Why? Because we're not paid to do them. We just do them because we want to promote stuff that we like, that we do, that we believe in. Like Ukulele Underground, ukuleleunderground.com. That's where you learn how to play the ukulele. You want to learn how to play this thing? If you're just like, I watched them talk for an hour, I still don't know what the hell they're talking about. It's this thing. Yeah, this is an ukulele. You can learn it over at ukuleleunderground.com. That's where we've been teaching for decades. Right over there. Okay, ukuleleunderground.com. Learn yourself a song or 300. Are we 300 songs at this point, Kai?
I think so. Yeah.
300 songs?
At least 300 lessons, but yeah, 300 songs at the least.
Yeah.
350 maybe, I think.
Go to it over here, okay? Sign up for UU Plus to take your ukulele playing to the next level. That's our premium service over at ukuleleunderground.com. Tons and tons of people have gone through Ukulele Underground Plus to take their ukulele playing to the next level, including a bunch of people that are among you right now. Yeah, in the chat, they're hiding among you. These people who have learned exclusively through UU Plus. Yeah. And also non-exclusive, I guess. And also you can go check out shop.ukuleleunderground.com. Shop.ukuleleunderground.com if you want to, if you're like, hey, I want to sign up for all that stuff that you're talking about. I think, you've convinced me. But where do I get an ukulele? Boom. Shop.ukuleleunderground.com. Okay, so shop.ukuleleunderground.com. We have Kanilea ukuleles. We have Islander ukuleles on there. We have a premium a la carte lessons that you guys can go check out. Yeah, you can also get some ukulele accessories and some ukulele swag or ukulele underground swag and merch and stuff that you guys can check out over there. You're like, hey, I've been watching Ukulele Underground for the decades that you've mentioned. So I kind of want to, throw you guys a few bucks so I can wear an Ukulele Underground shirt and wear it to my ukulele club. You sure can. Go to shop.ukuleleunderground.com. What else? Check out Aldrine.com. That's me. Aldrine.com shows where we're going to be. All our non-existent tour dates because we're not touring this year. But we also have run an ukulele academy here on the island of Kauai in person. So if you'd like to learn with us, Aldrine.com. I also have merchandise over there. So if you're just like, hey, Aldrine, I've been watching you for decades. So I kind of want to throw you a few bucks. Aldrine.com. So throw Aldrine, Guerrero, a little bit of baby food money. Okay, that's it right there. We have a couple of shirts, I think we have 3 shirts. We have 2 Aldrine shirts and 1 AG Academy shirt. So, even if you didn't go to AG Academy, you're like, hey, I support it. So get one, Aldrine.com. Okay, but if you're here on the island of Kauai, you can always sign up for our lessons. We do private lessons, we do group lessons, we do weekly lessons, we do keiki children's lessons, and pretty soon we'll be doing renewing our beginner lessons on there as well. So now is the best time to get started with AG Ukulele Academy. Okay.
Yep.
Any other things? Do you have any other questions, Kai, that came up?
I don't know if we can answer these.
Answer in 5. They don't need long answers, right?
Okay. So maybe the easiest one we can answer is Ritesh said, any update on the magical strings? Talking about the...
a
little snags, because one, we actually don't decide on what goes into the shop or not. Okay, that goes to higher powers than us. But the good news is that they are willing to do it, not the higher powers, but the people that make those strings are willing to come up with, with a way to bring them over. So they're down. Okay. But we just need to convince the other side that to bring them, and then maybe we'll get them. Okay.
Yep.
That's the update. Yes.
Yeah,
that wasn't answer 5, but that's, I think a lot of people wanted that update. Okay.
And then Blazen said, when switching a chord to a major 7th, what would be a good rule of thumb to keep the melodic tone? Answer in 5.
Let's see. Switching chord to a major 7th. with a good rule of thumb to keep the melodic tone of like the chord.
Yeah, depends on
Yeah. Okay.
the
Let's see.
situation, right?
I mean, my answer to 5 is take chord, add major 7. All right. That's it. That's it. I'm gonna leave it at that because any musician will tell you that's not a lie. Like that is how you do it. Yeah. Just take 1, 3, 5, major 7.
Yeah, it totally depends. Like if where the melody
Where the
line
melody is. Yeah. It's you. That's not something that's just universal. Like
Yeah, it's like a case by
yeah,
case.
it's a case by case of whatever the song is and where the melody line is in that song. But you know what does work is 1, 3, 5, major 7 to make a major 7.
Yep.
Okay, next.
Well, I think that was pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Because I right before we started doing the ads and stuff, like I was just like, okay, well let's do the ads so that we can get the questions in. They're like, oh, ask my question, but Aldrine didn't answer it. You know, I just don't want people getting mad at me for the wrong reasons. You know.
Yep. And then
you can get mad at me. I don't care, but not for that though.
Tomorrow, the new Fingerstyle song is gonna come out.
For real?
Fingerstyle play
Man,
on
that was fast. You
for
were
U+.
quick, buddy. Okay, so tomorrow, Fingerstyle, it's UU Plus solos. So UU Plus solos will have a brand new ukulele solo tutorial that you guys can go check out. It's a play along. You guys can check out over on YouTube and learn that over at UU Plus. So yeah, another reason to sign up for UU Plus. We have breakdowns and stuff of all those UU Plus solos that you see. Because a lot of the times we get those like comments on YouTube like, oh, can you do a tutorial? It's like, yeah, we did. You know, it's over at Ukulele on the Ground. Even like the free ones. People are just like, can you like do a tutorial? It's just like, dude, you just click on the thing. You just click on the description.
Well, I like for those comments, I reply back and I said like, learn everything you need from the free lesson, you know, if it's our monthly lesson.
Yeah.
But if you guys out there in the wild see those kinds of comments too, please let them know.
Yeah, please let them know. Please let them know. Be in the Ukulele on the Ground army. Yeah. So a Hawaiian song this month. So I went old school, playful Hawaiian song. Okay,
Yes.
so this one's actually near and dear to my heart. Like this was one of the first Hawaiian songs that I learned on my ukulele when I was I want to say like 3rd, 4th grade, like learning how to play ukulele. and it's, you would think, because like I played that 3rd, 4th grade. It's actually kind of a complicated like chord progression, you know, like as for a Hawaiian song. So
but this is like a fingerstyle version of
that song. Yes, of that song. It's not like the same one that I played when I was 9, 10 years old.
Look up the translation for this song.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
yeah,
It's I mean, for those that know, it's a song about a drunk grandma.
No, it's she's just enjoying a Sunday afternoon
by the kahakai. You looked up the lyrics, right? Isn't it awesome? It's like super playful. It's very.
And it's funny. Like I looked up videos of it, and there's like little kids dancing to it. It's like
right. It's
Brother Sam got it.
Yeah, Brother Sam knows what song that is. Just about drinking that kava and just just showing her hula moves.
Good time.
Hula moves. That hula ami om. It's doing the ami.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's great. It's great. So yeah, go check it out tomorrow over at Ukulele on the Ground. So without further ado, we'll see you guys next time Friday for Aloha Friday Live Jam. But until then, check out ukuleleontheground.com. Keep it real. Peace, homies. Bye.